So I'm back again with another drum editing video because, well, you guys seem to really like these videos. What I've gathered from this is that people are struggling to find a quick, easy, and efficient way to get good drum edits. Well, look no further because my latest method has cut my drum editing time down by more than half. So if you're not already editing in Luna, let me show you why you should be. Before we get into the good stuff, guys, I just want to remind everyone that I do hold a free mix training a couple times a week that is going to elevate your mixes. The link is in the description for that. And if you're having issues getting your mixes to stack up against your favorite bands and artists, this would be a great place to start because it's helped out so many other home studio engineers. So here we have some raw drums that were recorded in my studio. Let's take a listen. Yeah, just some raw drums, but if we take a look here, we can see that these drums are decently in time, but they're not right on the beat, which is how we want things nowadays. Is, everybody's editing really tight to the grid. So, we want to do that as well, and we want to do it the quickest and easiest way possible. Our first task here is to group our drums, right? Like we do in every other DAW. So I'm going to select the first track, which is our kick in on the left here, and then I'm going to hold shift down and select the last track. It's going to select all our drum tracks, and we're going to come down here and hit add to add a group. We're going to call it drums. And then we are going to select just editing here. We're going to hit OK, and our drums are grouped. Next, what we're going to do is change our warp mode to the Luna razor blade algorithm. So right here where it says warp, we're going to change that to Luna razor blade. And this is just Luna's time stretch algorithm specifically made for drums, and this is one of the reasons why Luna is the best DAW for editing drums. You see, this algorithm was specifically made to take care of the front end of our drum transients. In a lot of other DAWs, when we start stretching and editing drums, their algorithms can mess with the front end of like the kick and snare transient, and that's when things start to sound a little weird and the drums themselves lose punch. All right, now next we are going to change our view from clips to warps. And this is going to show all the little markers here where our transients are. Next, we're going to come up to the Q here for quantize. It's going to open up this menu here on the left, and we can select our grid value. For this song, because of what the drum part is, I'm going to select 16th note, but you might want to go down to 8th. It really depends on what the song is, how the drummer played. And then also we can select what tracks we want to edit by here. And I usually just do the kick and snare. So here I'm going to select the kick in and the snare top. And lastly, over here on the left, where it says auto apply, I'm going to uncheck that box because I want to select the areas that I'm editing, and you're going to see that right now. The last thing I like to do before I start editing is change my grid to 16th. And then I also want to turn my snap mode off. And it's just easier to move the cursor around that way. So I'm going to deselect that, and we're ready to start editing. So this is where it gets really fast and easy. And I'll just show you how I typically do this. I would normally just start at the beginning of the song, but I would go really section by section. So this part here I know is the verse. I'm just going to select the whole thing and go over to the left and hit quantize. And it is going to put everything right on the money here. And we can even turn the click on to see and make sure. So right up here, we have the click track. I'll turn that metronome on. Yeah, and the only thing is you'll see sometimes, it's the only problem, once in a while, we will get a transient that is not picked up, but we can just simply take that and move it to where it needs to be. See, that one kick in this section wasn't picked up, but like I said, it's a simple fix. And then what you want to do is basically just listen through that section that you just edited. And once you hear that it's all fine and dandy, then we can just come through and move to the next portion of the song, maybe do a few more measures or something like that. Hit quantize and take a listen. As you can see here, Luna is extremely accurate, very accurate, which makes this process super quick. So I'm just gonna run through here and do the whole song. So I was just moving along here, and maybe you'll get to a section where you listen and it doesn't sound very good. It sounds like a little too edited. So for instance, listen to this, this roll, or this fill rather. Hear how those cymbals sound a little shuddery. So this would be a section where maybe I just want to edit by the kick. So I would select everything that's not a kick here and maybe take those out. Just in between all the kicks. And let's take a listen now. And there we have it. So I'm just selecting those transients I don't want and hitting delete. Now, Luna will prioritize the tracks that you've selected, like the kick in and the snare, but it's still gonna put transient, you know, on some of the cymbals, like right here. Those hi-hats, and if you don't want those, you know, to be edited and you want to keep it a little bit more natural, or it sounds weird, because sometimes it sounds weird if we move like a ride or a hi-hat hit, because it, you know, those aren't very exact transients like, you know, the kick and the snare. You can always delete those. So then now we have this. Now, I'd like you to take note of the time in the upper right-hand corner. This song took me roughly 5 minutes to edit, which is crazy. The less time we're spending on boring tasks like editing, the more time we can spend on things like mixing and actually having fun. Hit me up with any questions, and happy mixing. Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure and go grab a copy of my home studio mix guide with your go-to EQ and compression settings for all your tracks. And also go ahead and register for my online mix training that I hold a couple times a week so that you can learn how to turn your home recorded tracks into a professional product.